This episode is powered by Anivia Pickleball. Based in the heart of Vancouver, BC, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, they have the paddle for you. I myself am currently using their Voltex Gen 3 Pro, which comes in both mid and lightweight. A big thank you for the team at Anivia for taking a chance on me in this podcast. And for listeners of the podcast, if you enter AGorman15 at checkout, you get 15% off. Check out Anivia.com now. That's AGORMAN 15 at checkout. On with the show. All right, welcome back, everyone. We had a huge event in the CPA this past weekend. How's it going, Victor?
Good. How's it going, Andrew? Well, welcome everyone back to our show.
It's going great. So did you catch any of the CPA games? I know you were playing in a tournament that weekend.
Yeah, I catch up a little bit. I'll say on the Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday because I'm playing. I just didn't have time to watch. But I'll say the Thursday was they had a little some glitches, I guess, and then Friday they just fix everything, so which went very smoothly.
Yeah, and so we'll start off with kind of talking on the technical side. I thought their replay cam going into that split screen with the live feed looked awesome.
Oh yeah, that was better than PPA for sure.
Yeah, that's by far been the best broadcast with that I've seen. And a big shout out. I can't remember who the two hosts were for the weekend, but they did a very good job. They were both very informative, and they had lots of like background information on all the players. Made it
Agree.
very, very, very easy to watch. They were explaining plays for people who weren't as into pickleball as say you and me are. So I thought they did a very, very good job. I was actually surprised they didn't have a bunch of commercials. Like that was my only small gripe is when they would cut where you would say a commercial would be. They just popped up like the CPA logo with like the title sponsors underneath, but there was no actual like commercials being shown. No EULA commercial or no Pickleball World Rankings commercial or anything like that. So like and like that's not that big of a gripe for me because if you're watching like 8 hours of pickleball and you've seen the commercial like 35,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be bored.
Yeah, so it wasn't too big. Like it's not that big of an issue, but I was just surprised that we didn't see it.
Yeah, because there is a lot of stoppage of play, and they could just incorporate a little bit of these things just to make it slightly better entertaining. Because otherwise, if I'm just watching like an empty court or something like that, I was like, that's not helping.
Yeah. But yeah, but when the action was on, it was like a very, very nice polished product. I will give them that. So we'll start off with the men's pro singles. So the finals came down to the funny thing with this one was we had Robert Rotero. I apologize, Robert, if I'm pronouncing that last name wrong. He was actually the twice to beat player. He beats ATN in the semis to advance to the finals for being the twice to beat. But because championships were on Sunday, due to religious reasons, Robert just forfeited the finals match. So championship Sunday actually came down to Brad Chapman versus ATN Blackstowitz. I apologize again, ATN, if I'm saying that wrong. And then this was basically the winner gets gold and the loser gets bronze because it was technically the bronze medal match, but the winner obviously goes on and then just wins by withdrawal for the championship.
I see.
And this was a really entertaining match. ATN is a very, very strong player. You can tell he played D1 tennis. If I remember correctly, I can't remember where he played, but you could see by his movement on the court how strong of a player. And Brad Chapman, hats off to him. He brought his like A game and then some. Like I can't believe how many precision shots Brad made, like just with drops, making ATN run around, especially in the by the end of the first set, and then throughout the second set as well. Brad ended up winning 11-6, 11-7 in the finals, but he was putting on a showcase for like patience, because like ATN was like all power, 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 power coming at him. And then Brad, as most of us who've seen Brad play a lot, where we say he's just like that stoic defender, literally was that, but then adding in like these precision like line shots. Like if you wanted to say Picasso type painting on the lines, that's basically what Brad was doing. Like he played amazing. And it was funny because when they interviewed him after, he goes, yeah, he because singles isn't his thing, he kind of went in, he goes, yeah, I didn't have high expectations, I just wanted to come out and have fun. And then he clearly just proved why he's one of the best players in Canada with that win.
Definitely. Do you know Etienne before? Have you saw him play before?
I haven't seen him play, but I know the only thing I knew him from was that he played in that NAPP
Yeah,
demo
I was
one.
about
No,
to I want to say that.
yeah, and then I know that he's ranked, like I want to say it was like 72 or something in the APP or PPA
Yeah,
in the
well,
States. Played down.
more for the PPA. He's regularly playing the PPA, but obviously he struggled to make into the main draw for the pro, and it's normal. It's not easy, right? I'm not telling it it's bad, but it's not easy. That those bracket and PPA are just stacked. You have so many good players in there. And at the NAPP, when I saw him play, he's definitely like the power level is different, definitely something beyond anyone else on that NAPP, and you can almost see during that CPA, his power is just like one step above almost everyone else. Like you and I think what helped Brad also is, first of all, they played together multiple times. Well, Brad is his partner, so he knew what to expect. That's one, and secondly, he knew Brad knew that there's no way you're gonna win firefight with him. You're gonna you need to grind it out instead of trying to speed at him, right?
Exactly, yeah. And then one other thing that the commentators even noted this: ATN was very vocal throughout the tournament, like very like,
Oh
well,
yeah, oh yeah.
think kind of like Nathan Choi in the CNPL, like very vocal, very like intense. To the point like you could almost say like a fair bit of trash talk.
He's
Obviously,
very chirpy. He's very chirpy.
yeah, very very chirpy. However, the commentators very big time noted that he wasn't that chippy with Brad in the finals. Now I don't know if that was partially because they had to play together again in the men's doubles finals, or if it's just that's pointless doing it to Brad.
I think it's pointless doing to Brad because Brad just
Yeah, it's
no no
literally like it's
nothing.
the best person I can equate that to is like Tim Duncan when Tim Duncan played for the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA. Like, there's no point to trash talk because it's just
Exactly.
he doesn't give you anything. There's like no
I'm not
reaction.
reacting to
Yeah,
anything you
he doesn't
say.
react to anything. So like he's like unshakable with that, right? So I think that might have also, because Brad's so unshakable with that fought a bit into ATN's gameplay as well, because he you could see as like in the singles and in like the doubles play, he uses that momentum to hype himself up and keep him going, whereas Brad's not giving him anything. So it was just, yeah. So I think that also worked very much in Brad's favor. But I didn't get to see any of the matches by Robert. So I would have loved to. I'm probably going to go back and look because I know he has a D1 tennis background, and apparently he went to a college in, I think it was Louisville, Kentucky, is what I heard. And there was two other players in this tournament that are also from the exact same college, Maria Kokolitsky and Ariana Rodriguez, who played with Ryan Torrenson. They all went to the same college. I don't know if they all went together, but they all attended that same college for D1 tennis. So no surprise that some D1 tennis players were in the top, like the single match, right? So
for sure. You have tennis background. You already one step ahead of everyone.
yeah, and especially in singles, you're definitely going to be ahead, right? So, so moving on to the women's singles. So we had Maria Kokolitsky versus Christina Chin in the finals. The first match was very, very close, 11-9. Maria kind of pulled away in the second with an 11-4 win. Now, They did note that Christina apparently, because I noticed when I watched the match, she took a medical timeout in between the sets. Apparently she was dealing with a glute muscle injury.
It kind of showed because I was like, why Christina's not playing at her best? Like even on
Yeah,
the CNPL too, I was like, why she's not playing at her best?
yeah.
And that's
So
probably
yeah, and
why.
then who knows how long she's been dealing with that injury, but and you could see it not necessarily at she wasn't showing it as much during the play, but as soon as there was a stoppage, you could kind of see a little bit of a limp in her step. So like the adrenaline she was fighting through, but I can guarantee you, as someone who's pulled muscles up around that area, pushing off and stopping and pushing off another way
Oh,
is very, very, very difficult.
it's not easy.
It's tough, yeah, and especially how Maria. There was quite a few rallies there where Maria had her going laterally side to side, and
Mhm.
that does eventually wear you down. So and then for the bronze, Carolina Hack got the bronze. She lost to Christina in the bronze medal match. Christina went up, and that's how Christina got up into the finals. Carolina lost to actually Jordan Vigna in the round of 8, but then won her next couple of games to get to the bronze medal match. She actually re-beat Jordan Vigna to get into the bronze medal game. So Carolina took the really long way, but to get to that podium. But kudos to her for kicking it into high gear and getting that forward. She did have one withdrawal win against Kim Layton because Kim Layton did pull her hamstring and the match against Christina Chin in the I think that was in the quarters, yeah, in the quarterfinals. But still, she came back and she beat Candice Ernst, and then she got a vengeance win against Jordan to get to that bronze medal game, and still had a very good match against Christina. She lost 11-6 and then 12-10. So she pushed Christina to the limit to even though Christina came away with the win there.
Nice.
And that was the first win for Maria. We're going to be mentioning her name quite a bit more.
Yeah,
as,
she's pretty strong too,
yeah,
right?
as we cover the rest of this tournament. So we move on to the and oh yeah, before we move on, Maria won same as ATN. You can see the D1 tennis background. Her passing drives were so well placed, and she could hit them from almost anywhere on the court. Like if you start to let her wind up, like if you didn't get her in a corner with a deep return or a deep shot, she was just stepping into that thing, and whether it was a two-hand backhand shot or a forehand, she was putting it wherever she wanted, and like you could see how much trouble all the women were having. Even if they got up to the kitchen line, they were reaching out and they were maybe chopping it down, but then the ball would bounce. She was just able to walk right in and power it through. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's the reason why if you look at the PPA, like there's less and less women coming in after a return, right? Because you can put so much spin, so much shape on the ball with those paddles now, and if you have that drive and background on top of that, you're gonna get passed every time you try to walk into the kitchen. So
yeah,
people like a lot of women's now they just stay back
yeah,
until they find the
they're
real ball.
yeah, basically playing a tennis match because like especially if you're not like 6 foot with a good
Oh,
wingspan, like coming up to that kitchen line is almost detrimental to you unless you can cover that court.
oh yeah, definitely.
If you come up against someone who can really drive it, like the men's, you still see a little bit more approach up to the kitchen line,
Well,
especially
the man has the power, right? That's
yeah.
the
Well,
difference,
yeah,
right?
they have the power to block it, but then they also a lot of them have the reach advantage as well.
Sure.
Then again, like if you would have had ATN versus someone who was only a guy who was only like 5'3", I got a feeling that 5'3" guy probably would have stayed back,
Oh yeah.
right? Type of thing, just for how well they were placing it. So, but yeah,
Mhm.
so Maria basically showed a lot of dominance there. Christina was the one who gave her the best fight.
Mhm.
Um, so it'll be interesting to see for the next for the when the next CPA comes up. I think that's going to be in Montreal. Um, when that one comes up, I think they said it was going to be in September.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where
It,
yet. I'm gonna assume probably in Ernesto's home gym is
either
where.
there or there's another places
Yeah,
opening up near was near where I went to college. There's another place they're opening up. It's going to be indoors too. So I think they're debating either there or either in Ernesto's place, because Ernesto place might be not as easy because there is also some tennis like junior championship around that time. So
Oh,
it really, yeah, it really depends. Usually September is a pretty difficult time frame in for especially for tennis because they have a lot of junior tournaments.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, either way, I'm excited to see the adjustments some of the women make
Hmm.
for the singles play. Moving on to men. All right. So going on to going on to men's doubles. Bronze, we had Joel and Hato get bronze. They lost to Matthew Quanamoto and Ernesto in the bronze medal game. They lost 11-7 and then 12-10. Now, the funny thing was is they actually beat Matthew and Ernesto in the quarters, and then Matthew and Ernesto had to beat Ryan Torrenson and Tolson to advance to the bronze medal game. So Matthew and Ernesto got a little bit of vengeance there, getting getting to go to the finals.
Hmm.
And then the finals, they had to go up against Brad Chapman and ATN. That was an insanely good match. It went to 3 sets. So the first match, Chapman and ATN won 11-2 pretty handily. They owned that one. But then Matthew and Ernesto came back with a vengeance and won 11-9. And then in the final set, it was 11-9 for Brad and ATN. This was a really good match. And it's kind of it was interesting to see because there was lots of adjustments made throughout the match by both teams, but I gotta say, Brad and ATN's dynamic with Brad being such like a stellar, just constantly consistent, and then
Yeah,
ATN's power.
he's like the Colin Johns of the Johns brother almost. Like,
I don't even want to go with that because not as an insult to Colin Johns, but I think Brad's a lot more offensively gifted.
yeah, he can be
But
offensive, but he know
yeah,
his role, right?
yeah,
When
yeah,
he's with
and like
ATN,
and
he know
Brad,
his role.
yeah, and Brad did like lots of awesome setups, and then of course, like anytime you try and get into a firefight with Brad, a lot of times he's just sitting there with his hands going back and forth like crazy and blocking it. But yeah, Matthew and Ernesto did a really good job pushing through and then pushing them to the limit. But yeah, ultimately Brad and ATN won. So that's 2 golds for Brad and then a gold and a silver for ATN after that event. That was probably one of my favorite matches to watch, just because it was that constant back and forth push and pull, especially after the first set, not as much, but that starting in the second set and then on, it
Just
was
to correct
literally
you,
could have
is
yeah, it
just to
literally could
correct
have
you, it's
gone
not
either
set,
way.
it's game. Let's call it game. Set is for tennis.
Yeah,
Just to correct you a little bit.
either
As a ref.
that's correct. So yeah, after the first game, yeah. So but after that though, it was pretty much back and forth. And it could have really gone either way, but yeah, Brad and ATN pulled that one out. And then yeah, another shout out to Hato and Joel for getting that bronze. Aside from those top 3 teams, there were some other really good teams there, but those kind of seem to be the 3 that kind of pulled away from
Yes,
everyone else.
I agree. When I saw
Um,
that too, they're just literally just one step ahead of
yeah, just
of the
one step.
pack.
There was other teams that are close, like they gave good fights and stuff. So I'm interested to see if some of those pairings stay together for the next
Mhm.
one, and as long as they keep working, like they'll be able to give a good fight to these teams and knock them off. But I think those are kind of our top 3 teams for now, at least, and we'll kind of see how the next 3 tournaments go throughout. Then, so moving on to the women's doubles. In the bronze, we had Emily and Gajar getting the bronze. They beat Jordan Vigna and Sophie Rashing to advance the bronze medal game. They ended up losing to Jessica Quanamoto and Maria Kokolitsky in the bronze medal game, 11-5 and 11-4.
Mhm.
And then Maria and Jessica had to play Christina and Kim in the finals. Now, Christina and Kim had already beaten them in the semis, but you could see as the games went on that that hamstring injury to Kim was starting to become more and more prevalent. Like if you watch the Thursday games and stuff, like, or was it Friday? I'm not sure. If you watch the first couple of games where they played before the injuries really started taking effect, Kim was very, very aggressive. I don't know how many earnings she was getting in each game, but her and Christine were a lot more dominant. Um, the closest game they had leading into the finals was against Maria and Jessica, and it was interesting because Maria and Jessica were really, really trying to pick on Kim. Because Kim was originally playing the left, and then when they moved Kim over to the right, she really started picking on Maria's backhand, and that's where they found success because they would either dink to Maria's backhand, and then Kim would get an Ernie, or Maria would then try to do a cross court speed up, and Christina was right there with her forehand and would just slam it down
Yes.
the middle of the court, like, and it was almost like you could click that play and then watch it on replay, and that was literally how the entire match went in the semis. But once we got to the finals on Sunday, not Maria, sorry, Kim was so much more tentative. You could see like she was playing the left more so she didn't have to push off that leg as much because you could see it when she was playing that, like she didn't have that pop in her step. Like I don't like she attempted very, very few earnings in that finals. And even though they were twice to beat, Maria and Jessica won the first game 8-11, and then they pickled them 11-0 in the second to force that deciding game 3,
Tiebreaker. Yep.
right? And then they won 15-4, like a very, very dominant. Maria and Jessica played very, very well and executed very, very well, but you could see they were really picking on Kim. And you could also see the injury to Christina coming into effect as well, because even Christina wasn't moving as gingerly as she normally does. So I would have loved to see this match without any team having any injuries, because I think these four women are very, very evenly matched. And it
Yeah,
could
it
have
will be
went,
much closer, definitely.
yeah, I think I like, and we would have enjoyed a way closer game. But no, but Marie and Jessica, like they saw where the weaknesses were, with like Kim's ability to push off, and with Christina not being as quick in her step, and they just executed. And you could see it, especially in that third and final deciding game. I think at one point they were up, I think it was like 12-2, right? And then and Christina and Kim managed to get 2 more points, but by that time you could just, it was the writing was on the wall, and like Christina and Kim never gave up, but they just
Little
they,
too late.
yeah, too little too late type of thing. But so yeah, so with that, Maria gets her second gold, Jessica gets her first, and then Christina gets her second silver because she lost to Maria in the singles, and then Kim gets a silver there as well. Moving on to mixed, this was the interesting one because it was, for those of us who are very well aware of a lot of the doubles play in Canada, there were some big upsets. Brad Chapman and Kim Layton didn't even podium,
Yeah.
which is a surprise. However,
Yeah.
like we said, Kim with the hamstring injury clearly
Exactly. So if you know the real fact, maybe not really.
yeah, but but even just looking at the scores, and but then again, like I said, because we know of Kim's injury, we also saw them try to adjust because they reverse stacked.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas normally Brad's playing left, Kim's playing right, and Kim's literally like a brick wall there on the right hand side, and then Brad just does whatever he pretty much wants to do against most teams. They switched, and once again, it was more so you could tell it was to protect from Kim having to push off that leg too much. And then same thing, like Kim couldn't get the Ernie setups that she usually goes for and things like that. And then because of that, you could see Brad trying to go do extra, which every time you try to do that as a player, it leads to more mistakes because you're forcing yourself into situations that you normally would have been more patient with.
Definitely.
So yeah, so they lose to Hato and Jordan in the round of 8 in 3 sets. They lost 11-3, then they won 11-8. Sorry, 3 games. And then they lost 11-3 again. And then they lost to Joelle and Ariana in the on the B side 15-13. So even with that injury, they still managed to put up a good fight on the B side,
Hmm.
but you could definitely see Kim suffering through that injury and trying to force herself through it. But
Yeah, too bad. Hopefully she
it was
gets
tough.
back.
But yeah, she'll be back. Hopefully she can recover quick enough for the upcoming CMPL tournament in 3 weeks.
Hmm.
And then and we'll go from there. So yeah, so after that upset, we had a
But
few.
she's playing on the provincial too, so hopefully she recover quickly.
She's playing in provincials, but if you're looking at the brackets,
Yeah, I know.
um, like okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, for Alberta, there's Kim, and then there's everybody else. Like,
True.
and that's not a shot at our other female players. It's just like at the level Kim's been playing at for so long. That's literally what it is. Like, and if you give her even a remotely good partner, so and I can't remember who she's playing with. Is she playing with Brown again?
I'll take a look. She's playing with Brad Chapman
Oh
for
no, well,
mix.
yeah, I'm not worried about the mixed doubles, but for more so for women's.
Let me take a
Uh,
look. I'm right there.
yeah,
Yeah, she's
she's playing
playing
with
with Brittany Bell.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's playing with Brittany Brown. So if I was a betting man, um, that's who's winning at provincials, and that's not a shot at all the other teams. It's just Kim's been playing at such a higher step up level than everybody else. And then
True.
Brittany is also a very, very good player who's been playing in those 4-5 and 5-0 tournaments. So it's not like she's getting a slouch as a partner.
Hmm.
But like Brittany's kind of on the same level as everybody else playing in that tournament. But then when you have Kim, who is like that extra step above, and like for those of you who aren't sure, the last like three provincials, it's been a given that Kim's winning.
Well, yeah,
And
she
and
dominated.
if you go back and look at the matches, they're not super close. They're like 11-4s, 11-5s each
Hmm.
game. So I'm not too worried that hopefully she doesn't have to pull out, because that would be a shot for provincials for people who want to watch an insanely good, high quality women's match. Because the matches
Agreed.
will still be very good with very, very good rallies, but I'm just saying that's Kim and Kim and Brittany are going to pull away, and it's going to be pretty prevalent. At least in my opinion. Like I said, if I was a betting man, that's what I would go. That's what I would lean towards.
Hmm.
But yeah, getting back to the mixed here. So for bronze, we ended up having Christina and Ernesto. They beat Ryan Torrance and Ariana Rodriguez in the quarterfinals, but then they lost to Maria and ATN in the semis, and then had to play Ryan and Ariana again in the bronze medal match. And with that win, Ariana and Ryan beat them 11-5, 11-8 to
Hmm.
advance to the finals against Maria and ATN. And then Ryan and Ariana also beat the Quantamoto twins in the game leading up to the bronze medal match, Matthew and Jessica. So
Yeah.
um, this was we knew Ryan was really, really good because we had seen him play in the CNPL. This was our first time seeing Rodriguez play, and but she, like I said earlier, she attended that same D1 tennis college that Maria went to, and you could see in her style of play, you could see that ability to drive and get into those firefights. And she's got a very, very good game as well. Like she was no slouch there. So she's someone who's played in tournaments with like Christina Chin in women's doubles and stuff like that. So she has that experience to playing at that high level against some of these pro level players.
Hmm.
And then we get to the finals. It goes to 3 sets.
Free
Uh,
games.
sorry, 3 games. I don't know why.
Sorry.
Why do we call them games? They're sets. They're not. The game is the game. They're technically
It's just to differentiate from tennis, right?
whatever. I'm still end up going to call every other paddle or racket sport calls them sets. I'm pretty. Oh no, maybe ping pong doesn't, but yeah. So Maria, so actually, and Ryan and Ariana actually win the first game, 11-7, but then Maria and ATN come back and win 11-5, 11-5. Um, the finals wasn't as chippy as when they played each other in earlier in the tournament. because I think they played in like the round of 8 or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, or something along those lines. I think they played each other at some point, and there was a little bit of chippiness, especially between Ryan and ATN. But then
No,
it was,
there was
um,
not even not even a surprise.
no, not really a surprise. But it was a lot calmer in that finals match. Once again, a really good, really great match to watch. And and Marie and ATN have been playing together for a long time. So, and you could see that with the way they play, right? So, and I think that was kind of like the advantage that kind of pushed them, or and also the fact that they've been down in the States playing in those PPA and APP tournaments. So playing against that super high caliber. Now Ryan and Ariana also play down in the States.
Mhm.
But I think just Marie and ATN have been playing at a slightly higher level than what they've been playing at. And like I said, it was still super close, like 11-5, 11-5, even though a lot of people consider that like that's a pretty consistent win. When you watch the match, the rallies weren't kind of indicative of that scoring. It looked a lot closer when you watched, if you were to take the score away and just watched the rallies, it looked a lot closer than what it was. So
Mhm.
that's just one of
And it
those ones.
happens a lot.
Yeah, that's just one of those ones where you can't seem to score on your serve, but
Yeah, it's just too bad.
you're winning rallies to like break serve, but then you just can't seem to get the point when it's your turn, right? Type of thing.
Yeah,
And we've all been in matches like that.
that's why people like rally scoring.
That's why I don't like rally scoring.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't. I no. I'll still be a purist, and I like the regular scoring better, just because you can grind your way back
I know.
into matches. So,
I
uh,
hear you.
so yeah. So and with that win, Maria becomes the Canada's first ever Triple Crown winner.
Oh yeah.
So
Congrats to her.
huge shout out to her getting the win, the gold in all 3 events she was in. And yeah, I'm super excited for the next one to see if she can repeat that. And like ATN was close too. Like he got gold in both doubles events, and then he got silver in the men's singles. He was his own partner kept him away from getting a triple
Yeah.
crown himself. So
Yeah, just anyway, it's just too bad luck, right? He's playing Brad Chapman.
yeah. So
Just,
I'm interested to see if they both go for it again in the next CPA event. That'll be interesting to watch, to see if we can if we get someone who's kind of sitting at the top of the mountain while everyone tries to chip away at it.
mhm.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
really I thought like I said, like we said in the beginning, the on the technical side, like aside from the little glitches that they had on the Thursday, but after that, like commentary was awesome. The split screen replay, I still won't get over that. That was so well done.
Mhm.
Um, and the matches themselves were great. Like I said, aside from the women's doubles, where you could clearly see the one team was fighting through injuries. And then they still, like I said, they still put up a super good fight in that first game. But then
Yep.
after that, you could see that like injuries were starting to win the battle
Yes.
at the end of it there.
Yeah,
So
it's just too bad. Hopefully they can recover quickly,
yeah,
Christina
yeah,
and Kim.
yeah, and they're playing and they're on the same team in the CNPL, so they're going to be playing together a lot. So I'm interested to see by the time we get to the end of the CNPL season and the end of the CPA Pro Tour, how much more in sync Christina and Kim are going to be, because now they've been playing. By the end of that, they'll be playing together for a good year and a half at lots of high
Yep.
level. Like they play together at nationals last year. They've been playing together in CNPL. They're playing together in the CPA. So it's going to get down to the point where they're going to be able to like close their eyes and know where each other is, type of thing, right?
Mhm.
So no, yeah. So very fun tournament. I'm interested to see if Rotero goes to the other events and competes. Um,
Okay.
but I obviously if he plays and goes to the finals, because they're going to be doing Championship Sunday all the time, it's basically a guaranteed withdrawal. So I'm in. So that's the one thing that's going to knock him.
Hmm.
And like, and this obviously, I'm not sure which religion he is that doesn't allow him to play on Sundays, and this isn't a religion shot, but that does affect, because of course, for those of you who weren't aware with the CPA, they're giving players rankings and stuff as the tournaments go on, and then the top 8 males and the top 8 females get guaranteed sponsorship contracts for the next season, right? So you're competing.
So your point matters, basically.
Yeah, like your finishing status matters, and things like that. But then also also another side point, and I talked about this in my interview with Yui, is your marketability matters, right, to some extent, right? And so if you're going to be someone who can't play on the championship day, that's gonna affect, like I said, he's clearly an insanely good player. He beat both ATN and Brad to get to that finals game. Right. So it's unfortunate that we couldn't see kind of him in that gold medal match. But it'll be interesting to see how that affects his status with, even if he keeps going to tournaments, and even if in singles he keeps winning and then getting silver every time. I don't foresee him, even if you say we're to finish in points wise, the top 8, I don't foresee him getting that contract, because of course you want everyone tuning in championship saying to see these top level players, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But no, yeah, it was a great event. Lots of interesting team ups as well. Like you had Hato and Jordan teaming up. You had a couple other players who we know from the CNPL teaming up with either partners they've played with in the CNPL or people who were their opponents in the CNPL. So it was it was interesting to see. The women's division is clearly, there's the 2 teams right now, and then everyone else is going to kind of play catch up. Now, we did have a few notable people missing from this event that are signed right now to the CPA. Luis Charles Amott wasn't there. Casey Rogers, Brett Forsyth wasn't there, and neither was Dalbir Bandel. All of those players are signed, and actually Amanda Rosati. All of those players are signed to the CPA, but none of them were at this event. Now, I know Casey Rogers was playing in a tournament in BC at that time.
It came loose open, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right. So I'm interested to see how that goes with them eventually coming probably to one of the next tournaments, right? So and I'm surprised that with it being the first event that that many of the signed pros didn't make it to that tournament. Like, I know, like, the Kamloops Open is a big one, but you're signed for this event.
Yeah, I know, but I think Kamloops Open is actually pretty big and has been there for years. So that's probably why I haven't been there. I cannot tell after that though.
Yeah, so it'll be interested to see if they make the next one. It's always weird for me when someone misses a tournament that they're like signed for, like CNPL or CPA, unless it's like a good reason, like a wedding or something like that, right? Like an actual event that you don't miss. So, and apparently some info out of that. Apparently Ryan Torrenson's gonna miss the next CNPL event. I think he's getting married. And if that's the case, Ryan, congrats.
Congrats to him.
That is going to be interesting though for the rollers, because like the rollers did so well with that 7-2, but missing that key piece. I'm interested to see how they're going to do in that central split. If that is the case, then Ryan misses. So, all right. So moving on. So Victor, you had a tournament that you were out.
Yes, we have our annual St. Albert members only tournaments. So that happened last Saturday and Sunday. Saturday weather was freaking terrible. It was like raining, stop, again, raining again, stop again. So they have to unfortunately cancel 2 bracket, the women's 4-0 and the women's 4-5, which Erin was on.
Yeah, she was supposed to be playing with Anya in that one, and they were super disappointed. Irene did tell me though she was on the phone, so they all showed up to the courts,
Mm,
and her and all the ladies talked to each other, and they all decided just to go to one of the indoor facilities and play, seeing how they all had the day off anyways. So,
mhm.
but her and Anya were a little disappointed that they couldn't play their first tournament together.
Yeah.
I know they're planning on playing together a lot more this year, so looking forward to that. But yeah, a little disappointed seeing how it got canceled, and Irene drove 5.5 hours for that. So,
Yeah, that's just too bad. And it was bad. The weather was really bad that day. It was they actually start play around probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So by the time and they didn't even finish like the bracket at 8:30. So that was the problem. They have to make a call like which bracket they have to take down. And unfortunately, the women's are the sacrifice.
yeah.
It's too bad. And then yeah, I did play on Saturday. Was not playing good, unfortunately. I was playing with my regular partner Lester. Okay, we play up. Okay, so that's another thing too. We play 4-5 instead of playing 4-0. So we, however, still did not do well enough. We did 1-4, unfortunately. The first game was terrible. We're playing against Chris and Jake. We got blew out 11-1. That was a pretty bad start.
Were they were they stacking in that game?
No, they don't. I don't think they even stack.
Oh,
We just not being ready. Lester didn't change his shoes. He was still using his like walking shoes playing. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, and anyway, that's for Lester. I'm blaming you. See that? I'm blaming you. No. It was my fault too because what happened after that? Like we got much closer after that. We won our next match, and then the other match we basically lost 11-9, 11-8, and 11-10 because just win by one. So we got so much closer. But the problem is obviously people are picking at Leicester. That's for sure. And at the same time our for some reason our middle was not communicate well. Like Lester had to take more middle than what usually should be. Like I should be taking that almost 70%. I wasn't doing that. I was staying on my left hand side, not coming to the middle, or like trying to just fake it to force the opponent to ding to further sideways. So I don't know what happened. That I didn't do well on. That was bad from my part. I was still able to do 1 ATP and 3 earlies, so which is a good thing, which is an improvement because last year I couldn't do any of that. But still, I should have played better. So sorry, Lester. That was my bad.
well, that's a big jump up too, and you're playing against some of the really high level players. I looked at your guys' bracket, and it's not like you guys had an easy pool either. So
No, not at all. It's not easy, but still, like I was disappointed because I should have played better and I didn't. But anyway, we I learned my lessons. Hopefully, we'll play better on Spruce Grove. Anyway, and then I play on Sunday. So I wasn't supposed to play on mix, but my wife asked me to play on. So I was like, okay, we'll play. We'll play mix, and then we play 4-0 mix, and we are undefeated, and we won goal on that one.
there you
Obviously, what did you say?
I said there you go.
Yeah, but at the same time, our opponents are much older than us too. So that's another like somewhat I felt bad for them because there's no age bracket. If those people play on the correct age bracket, I would assume they would do better.
I'm gonna jump in and say that you have to play the team that's in front of you.
Sure. I
And
got.
they signed up for 4-0.
I know. I know.
As, as as someone who's had to be in one of those matches before, I've gotten to the point where I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, well,
Because
for sure. When I was playing, I was not feeling bad for them.
yeah,
I
that's
was
good. Yeah,
smashing every ball possible. I was intense. People were seeing me. I was intense. But
perfect.
after that, after everything that's done, I was like, yeah, okay, we went and defeated, but at the same time, like we're playing people that's much more age, like higher age than us too. So that's why. And on that day, for some like something clicked. I was Dewey or Albert. Like I was like 90%. Everything's mine. You dig me too much to the left, not happening. I'm smashing at you. You push me to the right, I get it. I push me to the left, I'm getting it. You push me for overhead, I'm getting that. So I was like I was freaking everywhere. So my wife was May was very comfortable sitting on the right hand side defending that line, and that's it. That she needs to do. She's just defend that line, and I'm just everywhere else.
No, that's good, and that's the best thing about playing together all the time is that you can start reading off each other and seeing what each other needs. And me and Irene have had that too, where I'm like, hey, Irene's feeling it this game, so I'm just gonna
Mhm.
slide over and give her some more of the court to play with, and she's done the same for me, where there's games where I'm feeling it. So the fact that she saw that you were on fire and she just went, okay, I got this line. Victor's got everything else. Let's go. So
Yeah.
that's a testament to you guys for reading each other well as well.
Thank you. And I was booming serve too. I think one of the there's like two games. There was I was just serving was 6-0-2 already.
Oh, there you
Ouch.
go. Perfect.
It was like ouch. People was like, what the heck's happening? So I was my serve was booming that day. And yeah, and then I did also ref the 4-4-5 mix since I finished 4-4 earlier. So the 4-4-5 mix was pretty entertaining, to be honest with you. So I did the bronze match first. Was Dewey and her partner Susan playing against Jake and Shay, which is also their regular partner. They lost like very narrowly. Dewey and Susan lost like 15-13. Like Susan played like lights out on that day, was blocking almost every shot that Jake was going at her. But it was a good match. And then the next match gets very chirpy. So that Jake and Shake versus Sanj and Jill Richard. That game went to that match went to 3 games. Um, so basically, how did they win? So they won I didn't put the score, but I remember they won the first one pretty close. I think 11-7. So for Sanj, and then Jacob just went strong when stormed back 11-2 because he was poaching everything and he was driving everything, and then Sanj and Jill was not able to either reset, or Sanj was doing too much and then was hitting out balls for no reason. And during that game, it went quite chirpy. So why I'm saying chirpy is like Jacob was trying to feed himself into the game, so, and then he just basically body bag Sanj, and then he after body bagging the Sanj, he's like in front is saying in front of him, "Let's go!" Like basically in front of him, and then you see Sanj didn't like it, and he was just basically staring down back to Jake, and they basically stay like that for a good 30 seconds staring each other like that. Not like just didn't move. And I was looking at them. I just want to make sure they're not going to start a fight. They were like very close to start a fight. But Sanj backed away. He just turned. So yeah, kudos to them. Didn't do more than necessary. But what I can feel that moment was intense, and I was almost at the point I have to intervene because it was too intense, and there's a lot of spectator too watching that game. So that was the second thing. And then Sanj figured out on the third game they won pretty convincingly 11-5, because Sanj was able to control his ball, and didn't allow Jacob to drive as much, so that's why they were able to pull out the third game. But it was a very good game. Don't like think about also for Jake. He was playing 3-5 last year, and now he's playing 4-5, and he dominated in men's double 4.5. He won with Chris very convincingly against Dewey and Sanch 15-3. Ouch. That's a testament that he was playing very well, and with Shea, they almost pulled away that win. It was just a couple a point, and they couldn't get it. So well, I think it was a good. I think that was a good tournament this week, and also at the same time seeing that the youngster making to the podium now makes it feel that we better beat them now because we're not going to beat them anymore.
Yeah, I got a feeling me and Irene have a headlong collision coming up at provincials with Jake and Shay. So,
ouch, it's gonna be hard, my friend. You got like Jake is gonna come, my friend.
yeah.
But don't worry.
Oh, no. He
Don't
always.
worry.
I think we're even right now in our games played against each other. I think we've beaten them. I want to say twice. I think they've beaten us twice. I think is what we're at right now. So I'm excited to play in that. I did notice looking at the pools for that 4-5 is that Jake and Shay definitely had the most stacked pool. When looking at the pools. Like I looked at the pools for Sanjay and Jill and Dewey and Susan. And I was like, hey, those were kind of easy pools for those two teams. Then you look at Jake and Shay's pool, and there was some very, very good teams in that because Jake and Shay didn't go undefeated in that pool. So, but it was just interesting how the teams got divided up into those pools. Like it almost felt like that middle pool got almost unnecessarily stacked. But I don't know. Who knows what algorithm the stupid computers use for that? But no, it was just interesting because when I looked at them, because I'm familiar with a lot of the players who play in that 4-5, because a lot of them played either 3-5 with me and Irene last year, and were playing 4-0 with us at provincials. So I'm very familiar with a lot of the teams. I'm like, so I was looking at the one pool. I was like, okay, well, those guys were like not winning in 3-5, with the exception of like Jill and Sanjay. And I'm looking at Dewey and Susan's like, those guys weren't winning at 3-5. And then I look at Jake and Chase when I'm like, he played them in the finals, played them in semis, played them in semis, played them in finals, played like I was going down. I was like, it was like a murderer's row of like people me and Irene have beaten in either semis or final games right now. I was like, props to Jake and Shay for like coming out of that pool, because that was a pool where there was probably 3 teams that could have come out of that pool with that first place spot, because it was only the top team in each pool that moved on to that the medal round.
Yes, exactly. And but yeah, it was just a members only tournament, so people play up, right? They just want to test their level, so they want to play up in order to see if they can make it for the next one. But in sanctioned tournament, no way you want to play at that level, right?
No, yeah. Most of the teams in that 4-5, with the exception of like Dewey and Sanjay, are playing in the 4-0 right now. I could see by the end of the year some of them making the jump up to 4-5. Because that's like ultimately me and Irene's goal by the end of this year. Like we're playing 4-0 in provincials, but I know for like the Red Deer Open, a couple weeks after that, we're playing 4-5.
Nice.
Because we're sitting at like 4-2-5 or 4-3 right now. So we're starting to move our way up that rating. So if we do well in the next couple of tournaments, we'll be on the cusp of being 4-5 anyways. So might as well try it out, especially in a tournament where they're not going to be super nitpicky about it.
Definitely. So anyway, that was a good tournament, good warm-up tournament for the start of the season.
All right, and now moving on, we have a bunch of more info on all the new stuff opening up in Edmonton. What do we got, Victor?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, there is a couple of big ones opening up. So let me go to a quick breakdown with you all. So I'll go with the first one, with the EPC, which is the Edmonton Pickleball Center, or formerly the EVP. So they will have a grand opening on the 28th of June. That's like in to Friday. I actually myself will be going on tomorrow, which is Saturday, to visit that facility. So I'm gonna do a quick breakdown. So they are actually currently still offering 15% off annual membership if you book, register yourself to do a sticky peak tour before the grand opening. How their membership fee breakdown will be this way: you can pay nothing, but you'll have 7 day booking in advance, but you're gonna have to pay $8 to $9 an hour every time you play. So why 8 to 9 is because peak or non-peak hours, obviously, right? Peak hours, so basically all the evenings and the weekends.
Yeah.
And then you can, the next up you can do is paying $15 a month or $165 a year. Now brings down the hourly rate to $6 to $7. Now you have 10 days to booking for advanced booking, and then you can use Calgary facility with it. Which this is the one that I'll prefer most, because if you're planning on playing elsewhere than in EPC, I will say this is a good one. And on top of that, with that $15, they still have like a little bit of rebate for like at the shop. If you're playing like on some leagues and stuff like that, that you have a little bit of discount on top of it. And then they have a big jump. The next jump is like $60 a month. I was like, holy crap, that's like almost like three times the price. And then that's or $660 a year. That only brings your hourly rate to $5.50 per hour. I was like, that's like nothing. Sorry, this is like nothing. Why am I paying $60 a month for just half a cent, like half a dollar's difference? Holy, what's going on? The next jump is almost a double, $115 a month or $1,210 per year brings the hourly rate to $5. What the heck? This is not even making sense. And the last one, $150 a month, $1,650 a year brings the hourly rate to $6.5 an hour. Holy crap, what's going on? Who did the math? I don't like it.
Do you get some like free clinics or something with that, or?
You got better rebate. I think you get almost up to 30 to 40% rebate for the other, like maybe the league and stuff like that. But still, I was like, holy crap, $1,650. I'm better having like a super facility with like a sauna or spa or something like that included.
Yeah. When you're paying that much, you want to, once you're done playing, go over to the hot tub or the sauna or something like that.
Oh, I no, if I pay 1,650, I better have someone massaging me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Oh, I'll call Brad. Can you massage me?
Yeah.
No, sorry, Brad. I'm just joking. Anyway, I just feel it's a little ridiculous, the fee guide. But anyway, I think the $15 a month will actually make more sense for anybody.
Yeah,
so,
I'm wondering if they put them up that high to push people for that $15 a month.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably say that. And what they're saying, they will have some new playing options instead of just booking on yourself. Well, obviously they will have like their round robin and stuff like that. So they will have a regular league, they will have a ladder style league, they will do an MLP style league, which Calgary has. So they're gonna have it also in Edmonton. They do also like Edmonton tournament once every month. It's gonna be the third week of the month. And they're also going to do obviously duper round robin for people who wants better duper.
All right, on. Okay.
So that's not too bad. And then we go to the next one, the YEG, which is on. So I'll give the address right here, or people can Google it. It's 14025 at 156th Street Northwest. So they just announced that Jorge also is going to be one of the pros. So it's going to be Jorge and Ali being the club pro. So basically the whole triple crew is going to be there.
Yeah.
Apparently. They once had the founder membership. It got sold out, unfortunately. It was $200 a year. And
that did surprise me when you looked at what was available on that founder membership.
Yeah, but I was really debating. It was good deal, but I was like, I don't know, like I want to play elsewhere too. So anyway, I didn't budge. So now they got they're able to specify three different membership. So you have the bronze, which is $100 a year or $10 a month. That gives you 7 days booking. They also give you the hourly rate to $7.05. And if you can also always bring a guest for $8 an hour. Option number two is a silver membership, which is supposed to be $200, but if you buy it now or closer to now, they have $15 discount, so it's $150 per year. You cannot buy by month; it has to be by per year, and you get 14 days booking, and it brings down to $6.05 per hour. And then you have the gold membership, which is technically the founder membership. Now it's at 250 per year, give you 18 days booking and $5.05 per hour, and you have access to cock camera. So it really depends. I that this one actually is pretty. I would say is pretty good. For myself, I would still pick the cheapest possible. So I'll pick the bronze membership if I would go to, because it's just, unless you're saying this is the club I'm gonna play at all time, yeah, go for it. Go for the go membership. But other than that, if you're like, I'm not sure am I gonna play on that spot all the time. I don't live close to here. I have other place to play. Maybe you want to just
And it also
pick the
depends
bronze membership.
you're playing with, right? So like if you're playing with some people who are say from Leduc or whatever, you might be rotating which places you go to for driving purposes for everyone. So
Exactly. So you're like, anyway. Obviously, I'll also go with the paddle room or the pickleball hub. What membership they have still? They have the regular membership, which is $100 a year or $30 quarterly. Brings the hourly rate to $7 an hour and 7 days booking. Or you have the hub membership, which pays $200 a year, which brings the hourly rate to $6.08, and then you have 10 days booking. Haven't heard anything from for the North Hub if they're making the price change yet. At this point, it's still $10 every time you play there, but there's like not really communication. Like, are you a like what is going on with the North Hub? Because what's currently happening is, even though you get the hub membership, you can only book at the South Hub. You cannot really book at the North Hub unless you're like the founders people that was there for forever, that you can book at the North Hub. And unfortunately, I felt the North Hub is getting less and less attractive, especially now you have those new places popping up with new better surface. The North Hub, because of North Hub, unfortunately, I started to have some knee pain and stuff like that. It's just, if you have better places, I will say I'll probably not gonna pick the North Hub anymore. That's my
yeah,
take.
like unless they go in and do like a resurfacing, and with how busy the South Hub is, it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I don't think it would take too much to like shut it down for like 2 or 3 weeks to get a
especially
good.
during the summer, right? It's easy to just shut it
Yeah,
down for a couple of
especially
weeks. To,
with everyone playing outside and stuff at all the outdoor courts. Like this would be the time. Like yeah, shut her down for 3 weeks, go in, do a good resurfacing. I don't know, even if depending on how much resurfacing costs, or if you want to go and get some of those like roller mats and just put some
Mhm.
of those down if you want some different padding and stuff. But yeah, like especially with how successful, at least from what I've seen, how successful the South Hub is right now. I think you could shut it down and then just do a resurfacing. Because yeah, I noticed the last time I played in the North Hub, it was the floor is starting to get a little rough.
Yeah, it's rough, and there's cracks, and there is back bounces all the time. Anyway, I feel that that's the reason why I might pick the Yeg as my winter this year, because just for my legs and everything, I getting a huge beating at the north. But at the same time, that's my kind of reluctancy, because I know a lot of people playing at the north, and they probably still want to play at the north. So anyway,
Yeah.
we'll see. So next to more down south, so you have the Voodoo, for people that a lot of people from Leduc knows. They have obviously the 3 pickleball courts over there. Um, how their membership is running is they have an annual membership for $100, or you can have a couple membership for 130. You can also have a family of 4 for 150. And then for seniors it's cheaper. So if you're 55 plus, it's only $42.50 per year. Or if you're junior, you have for only $35 per year. How does it work? It gives you every time you book, you have 2 hours booking. However, you still need to pay a daily admission fee every time you play there, for $15 for a non-member, or $12 for a member. You can also buy a package of 10 for $110, but that's only offered for the members only. And for the members, you can book 10 days in advance. If you're a non-member, you can get 7 days in advance. I would say this is one of the cheapest in paper as membership for everyone. But for me, that's like a 45-minute drive. I think I lose gas by driving down there for this. But if you're living down south, Mondu is actually the cheapest option, and those courts are pretty good too. So that's I will say this is a very viable option. And the next one that will be open in Leduc also, it's going to be called the Padel Zone. They announced they're going to have 3 padel courts. Used to be 5 pickleball courts. They just brought it down to now only 4 pickleball courts in order to incorporate 2 ping pong tables. Like, what the hell? Why did they do that? Anyway, there's a slate to open on the 22nd of June, so right during that Spruce Grove tournament. Currently, there is still offering a founder membership for $125 a month, or if you only play pickleball only, $70 a month. That which gave you 14 days booking and free court booking. So basically, every time you book is free, except if you're playing during peak hours. So I'll explain the peak hours fee later. What they're gonna give you also, they're gonna give you a shirt, a bottle of water, and then some discount on the at the shop. And they also give you like if you buy 6 months, they're gonna give you the seven month for free if you're doing that founder membership. If you don't pick that, what are your options? So you have the basic option, which they give you the $12. You have to pay $12 a month. They will give you 20% for on court discount. I'll come to the court fee soon. You understand that. If you pay premium, which is $60 a month, now you'll get $50% discount on the court fees. If you pay, the next one up is Pro, which you pay $180 a month, and you need to pay for 6-month contract. I was like, holy crap, what is going on? And it will give you 100% discount on court fees, except on peak hours. So what are the court fees for pickleball? It's gonna be $32 per hour, which is $8 per person, or $48 for 1.5 hours. In peak hours, you have to add $8 more per person. No, so eight more dollars, sorry, per court, or $12 for 1.5 hours. So let's say if you pick the founder membership, which you have the 100% discount, but you're picking peak hours, so basically you have to only pay $8 if you want to play there during peak hours, which is okay, but you need to play there every day in order to make your money worth. Otherwise, that's pretty expensive. For padel, it's a little bit more expensive. It's $60 an hour, or $90 for 1.5 hours. And for peak hour fees is $16 per hour, or $24 for 1.5 hours. So I will say that this one's, I would say, in the very expensive side. unfortunately will not recommend you to go there unless you say, "Oh, I'd like to play padel. I want to try padel because it's very popular." But other than that, that is freaking expensive, and for only for pickleball courts, ouch. I don't. I'm not. I was. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that maybe they do very good courts and stuff like that, but that is very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and then it is the Padel zone, so like you can see that they're aiming more towards that, even though they got the four pickleball courts in there. I don't know, yeah, because the 180 a month. If you don't, because when are peak hours? This is what I want to know. What are peak
So
hours?
peak hours after 5 during weekdays and the weekends. Those are peak hours.
So like weekends, like what time? Just any time?
So
Yeah.
I think it didn't mention. I think it's any time at this point.
Okay, and then after 5 p.m. on the weekdays. So
So for someone, me and you, we're stuck at peak hours at all
yeah,
times.
we're stuck on well, yeah, we'd be stuck on peak hours. So yeah, like if you live around there and you're like a retiree, that pro membership, if you were going like playing at noon,
Yeah, you'll be
that
free. Well, we'll be free in theory.
be free in theory for 6 months. Like, and if you go like say 3 times a week, like that pretty much pays for it right there.
Almost. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's one of those ones where you it's because yeah, and there's a few of the other ones where they say peak hours. I'm like, okay, well, for me, when is peak hours? So yeah, I could see weekdays anything after 5 p.m. because that's when most adults are off work.
Hmm.
And then depending on the week, so and then weekends, it's weird because you can't. Can you really say the entire weekend is peak
They're
hour?
probably gonna change it, but at the moment, there's not enough information. I
Yeah,
just assume it's gonna be the whole weekend.
yeah, because like I could see like okay, weekend, I could see you drop it down from like 12 to close, but I would say still early morning on Saturday would still not what I would not consider peak.
Hmm.
You know
Because
what I
people
mean?
doesn't want to
Yeah, because people like to sleep.
wake up
Like,
early.
yeah,
I slip in.
like
Sorry.
if you work a grinding like if you work the grinds like Monday to Friday, right? I not marrying people want to wake up at like 8 a.m. to
No.
go play pickleball. So I could see like if you switch peak hours to like say 12 past 12, but if you
Hmm.
have some of those early birds who want to go in, say like an 8 to 10 or like a 9 to 11 type of thing, I could see that. I could see the pro being a good case depending on what the peak hours are.
Yeah, the pro or the founder membership, basically. I think
Yeah,
that will be a good one for people that's planning on just live like very close by and then just want to
yeah,
play every day, right?
yeah, exactly, right. So I'm nowhere near close to retirement yet. So
Mhm. So that's the breakdown. You have it, everyone. So you don't, I did the research for you, so you can pick whatever you want.
so so when does that so okay on so we got and that's the only one that's open by the time I come up next. Shoot. I don't know if I want to drive down there and check that out.
Yeah, I'm debating too. I was like,
I was
holy
hoping
crap,
one of
it's
the
so
well
far.
because we're playing in the Spruce Grove one next weekend. I was hoping one or two of these would be open and like I could even if I call like me and Irene call like you and Lester up if you wanted to go like play Saturday night or something and try out
Yeah,
new spots. But I was like I was hoping the Yag would be open by then because I was like okay that's
no,
right by
it's
your
not.
house.
No, it's not actually open. I actually peek in last week. It's freaking empty inside.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
just put it in on Instagram. They just put like some stickers saying, "Oh, yeah, coming soon," but there's nothing inside. I'm like,
yeah.
come on, guys.
Yeah, because I was hoping that would be open by the time this next tournament that we're going to came out because I'd message you and say, hey, it's like right by your house. It's right by
Yeah,
Irene's brother's house. Let's go
I'll
like
probably invite you to over. It'll be fun.
yeah, I was like, let's go do some drilling before we play play on Sunday.
Oh
So,
man, now they're it's not open, and
yeah, shoot.
same for EPC, still not open. So you're like,
Yeah,
come on.
it was that. So yeah, it was I was gonna say either that or EPC. Mind you, I have yet to play at the South Hub. Irene's got to go play there a bunch of times.
Yes.
I
Well,
always
I play with Irene at South
yeah,
Hub.
I always get stuck working every time that works out. So who knows? Maybe we'll
You
maybe
have to
this
find
coming
time, my
weekend
friend.
I'll yeah, we'll message you and we can go try that out on the Saturday night or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, South Hub. I just feel it's a little crowded. It's good surface, but it's just the court design is not as good I would hope for. That's my
Yeah.
main that's my main thing. But other than that, it has good heating system in there, good lighting and stuff like that. Most of the court has good size court space, but just maybe there's two courts as like pretty bad spacing that
Yeah.
should have maybe just converted to one central court instead. I don't know
Yeah.
why they did that.
Yeah. Because how many courts do they have in total?
They have eight, but I think there's two courts that's not usable at all.
Yeah. So like if they would have just done seven and like and I understand the reason you want to get that extra one in there because then you can have more people in type of thing
Mm.
like that. It's one of those things. It's funny because there's always this thing in the back of my head saying because there's a couple of vacant buildings around Peace River and I was like, man, could I turn that into like a 3 pickleball court facility? Like if I had money.
Oh yeah, I know.
Anyone, hey,
Right
if
here, I have.
any of the rich people watching this podcast want to go in with me on that and put a facility in Peace River, I'm totally willing to run it for you.
I'm telling you, there is that the Lowe's that just closed down on the 97. That would be perfect, like
Oh
pickleball.
yeah,
Like I'll make that freaking pickleball. I put like 25 courts in there with like championship court, everything. Like
yep,
that would be perfect. But I don't have the money to buy
yeah,
that, obviously.
exactly right. It's like, geez,
Anyway, that's just my rent being poor.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just working through it. I'm lucky I get my paddles for free right now. So once again, Benivia.
There you go.
Speaking of paddles, let's jump over to some equipment corner. We got some more Paddlegate stuff.
Oh yeah, call that Paddlegate 3.0. People have been already calling that the list gate already. So anyway, I was about to say that on the CPA tour. I was like, oh, why did Ernesto didn't win? Oh, why Christina didn't win? Well, because they don't have the Gen 3 paddles. Anyway, that's just me saying it. So yeah, I would say just in some of actually in during the PPA tour, some of the people are not doing that well when that Gen 3 is gone because that Gen 3 actually really give you the power on there, and unfortunately that gives somewhat an advantage for people that's already hitting hard at you. So unfortunately, USAP continue to go on rampage on the listing paddles. So another paddle that got delisted, well, actually, well, it's delisted, but they never came into market, is the Rhombus Ripple. They claim that they have also a foam core in there and supposed to hit even harder than the Gen 3 Yola, but they never make it to the shelf anyway. So it got delisted on June 3rd. And this week, sucked to be me because I had that paddle right here.
Oh, the
So the Matic only got delisted on Tuesday, this Tuesday. So on the Tuesday 11, same thing because it is also technically a Gen 3. It has foam in there. What happened is that it did not pass a new test, which we call the coefficient of restitution, or people can call this the exit velocity test that USAP just introduced recently on there. I did actually play this paddle on Monday against Leicester. I chested right here. Very nice. It has like that ball mark right here. Very nice. I chested him so nicely there. And that paddle, that you see that graphic, it has a very nice graphic. I was like, I wish every paddle has that graphic, but they're not gonna make it. And they Matic told me also they're not gonna resubmit that paddle into the testing anyway. This paddle, I'm telling you, is maybe that close to be an EVA foam paddle. If you already like, I have the Diadem Vice, which is the original illegal paddle that they were talking about. I would say they were just that close about the power level. That
well,
one was very it hits like with my drive plus this is lethal. You have basically like if you say you have usually half a second to react a drive towards from me, now you have less than half a like you diminish 50% of that this of reaction time with this one, because that was going super hard at you right away. Is it easy to control? No, it's not easy to control at all. I was suffering on my church shot drop. I was suffering a little bit on my dings, or on my punches, because it was hitting super hard. So I kind of now know why people was liking that Gen 3. It is actually hitting super hard, but it takes like a while to dial in before you can really, I would say, play as your regular paddle. And on Friday, Yola actually released a statement. They're gonna sue USAP because they have the money to do it. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see if Yola wins. That's Rhombus and Vatic just gonna follow suit, because those are smaller company. I don't think they have the money to hire a lawyer to do that, compared to Yola, which is a bigger company. They can do that. So anyway, interesting to see. So now suppose like these couple of months should be very busy with like new paddles coming out. I heard a lot of like smaller paddle company are not releasing new paddles now because of this. They don't want to release and then get delisted right away. So right now, a lot of those smaller companies are just holding off and see how USAP is doing before releasing new paddles.
Right on. Yeah, so well, I'm happy with my paddle right now. It's not delisted. It's working like a charm for me. So
It's
if you,
okay. I have more paddles.
are they doing for your one there? Are they doing the same as Eula, where they're giving you a refund or no?
Yeah, they give me a full refund of that paddle. I feel sad because I like the graphic of that paddle. It was so nice and everything, and I like poppy paddles, and now I have to give it back. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I find that's a big thing right now, like on the graphic side of stuff, that a lot of pals are doing that very generic, just the logo,
Black.
the black, and then the like the name brand just down the side,
Mm.
but no nice graphic. Like that's why I love the Nivea one, which if you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing behind me here where it's got like the half bird
Yeah.
paddle. Like I love that, was one of the things that drew me to the paddle before I started actually playing with it. Like, well, that's an awesome like graphic on there, right? So I'm always a big fan of like flashy graphics, right? So
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of them, like if you look at like say even the latest Selkirk, or like some of the latest like I'm blanking on some of the other names, like the 6.0 or whatever the name brand is.
6-0.
Yeah, it's literally just the thing down the side and then a black surface. I'm like, yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, because it's because of carbon fiber, right? You're stuck with being black, and then you can't do anything really else with it. But now I would say with the newer ones that's coming up, especially with Kevlar and stuff like that, you can do a little bit better. I'll show you another paddle I just tested very recently. If you saw this one, if you look at the YouTube one, the Shogun, the bread and butter Shogun. Look at this bad boy. So this one has we call a titanium mesh in there. So if you look it closely, like it has like almost a little bit of a stitching
Yeah.
onto the paddle. So that's a very nice aesthetically paddle. The bread and butter just came in. Already liking this paddle a lot, but I need to put some lead tape on it because it's too light, and I'll just my hand was moving all the time while I was punching around. Very unique feel. Like it's not as stiff as your regular carbon fiber paddle. It has like a soft kind of feel, but it still pops quite a bit. So that was a very interesting paddle, and it was sold out at all times. Like even now, it was like the pre-order 5 just came in today. It was sold out within minutes already. So prompts to them. I'll actually do an unboxing soon because they come with like a nice box with hot sauce and stuff like that. So we'll do the quick review on it. I received another paddles to the Hirachi X. That's the 14 millimeter. I haven't played yet. I already played with the 16 millimeter. For me, for some reason I never been able to dive in with the 16 millimeter. I just felt it was a little bit too slow at the net. It was a little bit too slow at the kitchen line, and the plow through was not good enough. Now I have the 14 millimeter, so I'll test it out, see how this one go through. Maybe it'll be a little bit quicker. What else?
So do some wrist curls there, Vic.
What you say?
Do some wrist curls, get those wrists a little bit stronger.
I
If
know.
you have trouble with those 16 millimeter paddle.
Anyway, I know.
It's actually funny because like talking about like the paddle sizes and stuff, because like the paddle I use is a 16 millimeter.
Yeah.
For me, when I started using it, it felt light as a feather. Now, for those of you who don't know, aside from playing college basketball, I also played baseball and softball, and I was a catcher. So for your bat swing and stuff, you do a lot of like wrist and forearm exercises. So I thought this paddle was super light, and it was funny because Irene has because I have the 8.2 ounce, and Irene has like, I think it's the 7.3 ounce or something like that. I've had other guys in our club hold my paddle and like, oh wow, that feels heavy. And I'm like, really? I'm like, if like I thought it felt lighter than the previous paddle I used to use. So it's funny for someone. I didn't realize that I had that little bit of extra strength. And Victor's hand battled me before, and he knows I'm pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, like when you said 16 millimeter and 14 millimeter, I'm like, man, how much fast? I said I'd probably be too fast with the 14. I'd probably get too far ahead with a 14 millimeter paddle. You know what I mean? Like I'd get ahead of the ball and then start putting it into the net. Like, so it's always interesting to me how that has effect. Cause it was funny. I did try lead tape on one of the paddles there to see if I felt the difference. I didn't really feel the difference. So I took the lead tape off and I used it because I used it for a couple of days with lead tape. I stuck it on. I did like the typical four corners and stuff like that just to see. Cause everyone was like, oh yeah, try it with this, try it with that. And I'm like, I'm not really feeling the difference, and I like the way I'm hitting right now. So, but it's interesting, like because I know, and like how you notice the difference in that. Maybe if I hold, because Irene's is a 16 millimeter as well, but it's just a little bit lighter in weight. So I don't know. Next time we play, maybe I'll grab one of your 14 millimeters just to see how it feels when I'm swinging it around.
Yeah. Well, I just have so much paddle. So when I have the paddle right in my hand, I knew right away, okay, this is a little off, or they're like, oh, this is not quick enough right away. So, and that's how I during the tournaments. Well, when I won that gold tournament at 4-0, I changed paddle almost every couple of points because I don't like how it hits. I'm changing paddle for the other ones that I want to do a specific shot. I was like, oh, I'm now against the wind. I'm using a more powerful paddle, and I was like, oh, I'm now with the wind. I'm using a control paddle right away. So just for me, it was like a quick instant.
Well, and for someone like you who does switch paddles enough, you'll notice it more than I would notice it, because seeing how I use the same paddle for everything, I wouldn't notice it as much until I actually started playing like a full game with a different paddle type of thing. And for me, it would be more so, okay, I'm noticing it on my control, not necessarily on my drives and stuff like that. So if you're one of those people who does switch paddles a lot, that makes a massive difference. And if you're used to switching it, then you can like, hey, I know I need this paddle for this specific play. I need this paddle for this specific play. It works really well in your favor once you know that.
Oh yeah, so like the refs hate me now because every time I come in, I have like 6 or 7 paddles with them. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, I have more paddles coming in. Just to let you know, I have 3 more paddles coming in. One just came in today. I for some reason Selkirk was selling me sending me a paddle because I won some sort of contest. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll get a paddle. Anyway, I haven't tested yet, so. We'll tell you is the Neo Pro Amp Invicta, which the one that Jack Sox use. And then I have the Spartus Apollo. Apparently, this is like a pizza pen. So is like super wide but super short paddle, and in theory is like a reset machine. It's a full Kevlar paddle too. You'll probably see it when you come in. And then I have the Honolulu Pickleball Company J7K, not the J2K. So because I like elongated, so that's why that is the J7K. It's a full Kevlar also paddle, but in a elongated shape. So it's going to be another interesting paddle to test. And one more later on they will be coming is the bread and butter Fat Boy that's gonna coming in. Yeah, bread and butter always come with some weird names, but anyway, they're fun. So the Fat Boy technically is another basically what are Mark's Mark II, so it's like a wide body paddle. So will be another interesting paddle to test it out. Is there any new paddle coming out still? Yes, there's a couple companies that's still gonna launch some new paddles. The 11624, so the one that I show you, the Hirachi, they're gonna come with we call the Monarch, which is the wide body, so it's gonna be very similar to the Water Master Mark II, the Spartus Apollo, and the bread and butter Fat Boy. That one they will come with three different surface in there. So either with a Gen 1.5 surface, which is the full carbon fiber, Kevlar, or the carbon with fiberglass, the CFC. So that's an interesting take on them having the same shape but three different surface on there. It's going to be very interesting. For sure, they will pass the test because it's not a power-oriented paddle. It's just a more control paddle. The paddle tech is going to come in with their new paddle, the ESQ carbon. So basically, it's going to be the Annealy water paddle with a longer handle. Yeah, actually, sorry, this is another paddle I will have in July. We'll give you a little bit more detail on it. Currently, Andrea Coop from the PPA is using this paddle. 60 also is going to come with a couple paddles. So they have the quads, which is a more budget-friendly paddles. We call it Gen 1.5 carbon fiber paddle. The double black diamond, the black diamond, the ruby, and the infinity will all have now the 14 millimeters because all of them was only having 16 millimeter. Now they will have the 14 millimeter version. See that? So the people is making that 14 millimeter version because they need that hand speed, right? I'm telling you. Pro XR is gonna have their new paddle not launching soon. Zane Everto, Jack Monroe, Tina Pisnik, and Riley Newman's already using them. People are saying same thing as a freaking sandpaper. You can put it on your chest. It's not even moving. So apparently it's another super spinny paddle. So we'll see how this one go. It'll be fairly expensive, unfortunately. Pro XR is making those paddles so expensive, but no ones are using them. I don't know why they're doing them. But anyway, they're now parent company for Paddle Tech. They don't really care. They just have Paddle Tech make all the money anyway. So interesting. Pickleball Apes also is going to make basically a new surface. They're going to incorporate nylon and carbon. I was like, what the heck? That's weird. Anyway, I have no other information at this point. I don't know how it feels when it will come out. I'll let you know how it does.
Like they're sort of copying the owl paddle, but and adding.
No, not really. Nylon is not owl. Like owl paddle is basically almost like
oh, that's felt.
That's felt.
Yeah.
It's not nylon, it's felt. But apparently what happened is this paddle, I was like, this is like my owl paddle was super popular. I was like, what the hell? Why is it? Because I bought the power version. There is a control version, and I bought the power version. So that's probably why. I don't know. Maybe the core was different. That's why they call it power version. Anyway, but it was super powerful. I love my opponent doesn't like me to use them because like I drive super hard. I was like, they barely held hear it. And, oh, holy shit! The ball was like
Yeah.
in their face already. So anyway, I'll use it against some people just to mess them up. Anyway, and Ionic is making, we call the Flux a prototype, which they have a Kevlar mixed with carbon, edgeless, and they're gonna put foam core into it. So it was a prototype paddle, was technically USAP approved, but now they knew that they're all delisting that those new paddles. So now they're gonna actually change the core to be a normal core instead of a foam core. Obviously, it's still a prototype, so they're gonna not going to release to the public at this point. They might release it when USAP get everything settled down. One last equipment update is not paddles, is ball. Franklin is actually making now new balls called the Eco FX Pro. It is a biodegradable ball that actually degrades, can be biodegradable in 10 years on the soil. And apparently, people that had that ball say it hits as hard as a Dura, does not break. But like when a ball does not break, what happened is lock its shape, and then you have funny bounce because of it. So you have advantages and disadvantages. Good thing with that ball, like I said, is eco-friendly, so it's biodegradable. So I would say if it lands out in the landfill, at least it's biodegradable. So it's not like our ball. I don't know how our plastic ball are degradable at this point when we break them.
I honestly don't know how someone hasn't come up with something saying, "Hey, donate all your broken balls and just remelt them down to make it."
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Is it because of costs, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know, but like for how many, I know for how many balls we break just in our club, like you could almost make like a shrine, like a
Yeah,
big.
I
You could
know.
make it. You could literally make a gazebo out of how many broken balls just from my club here in Peace River. That's a tiny club, so.
Uh,
But
I know.
yeah, like there's got to be something they can do. Like I like the eco-friendly thing, but I was like, hey, if you can make an eco-friendly ball, like what's stopping from like the ones that we do have already? Like it's plastic. Like you can melt that back down into something
At
else.
the same time, it's marketing, right? If you're able to recycle your ball, like you're not gonna buy ball from them, right?
No, what no, but what I mean is like you like so like that no, but that's a thing. Like, hey, our balls are recyclable. So like, hey, you break your ball, either send them back to us
Yeah,
or
send it back to us.
or send them back to us or work out with like the distributors, like say like for example in like Vernon or whatever, where they have like the pickleball depot, like treat it like I was almost like if it's a like a bottle depot, drop off your broken balls, maybe get like a some type of discount on your next order, right?
Yeah,
Now, obviously, that would take shipping and all that stuff into account as well with something like that. But they got to have something where it's makes it a little bit more. I like the biodegradable thing because at least now you break it, okay, toss it in your garden in the back or something, right? But
somewhat.
to some degree, yeah, it's 10 years, but hey, at least there's something happening on that standpoint. Because yeah, it drives me nuts how it's just like yeah, basically now it's tossed in the garbage because it's not you can't even toss it in a recycle bin right now. So
I agree.
and to because we've gone a little long to finish off, what's our next tournaments coming up? I think we're both playing next weekend in Parkland, right?
Yeah, we're actually. I am playing men's only on the Parkland Pickleball at the season opener. I'll be actually reffing on Friday and Saturday just to get myself ready for my certified referee exam in out during the provincials. So therefore, unfortunately, sorry, Lester, I'm pulling out of the provincials because of that. Andrew should be happy.
Well, that's yeah, one less team for me to play in men's doubles. That's for sure.
Well, I don't need to body back him anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, I got the Parkland coming up as well, and surprisingly, I'm just playing men's as well. Me and Irene got stuck on the wait list, and then ended up not getting in. And then Irene's women's actually got canceled because it was only her and her partner in the women's 4 or 5 plus. So So Irene's not playing at all, so I'm just playing on the Sunday. So like I said earlier, Victor, maybe we'll message you in Leicester and get something going on Saturday night or whatever, because we're just gonna have to. We'll just drive down Saturday for that Sunday play. I am playing in provincials. My provincials is going to be very busy because aside from playing in men's singles, mixed doubles with Irene, and men's doubles, I'm also going to be helping out with the broadcast for the provincials. So for those of you who aren't aware, Pickleball Alberta does stream. We do have a like a championship or featured court that we stream throughout the day for each for the tournament. Periodically, I'm going to be hopping on there and providing commentary when I'm not playing. I got a couple other people lined up. If Victor's available, he'll join me as well, but he's going to be busy with that refs exam, so that takes priority, obviously.
Yeah, or you're just gonna see me in the center court.
Yeah.
You reffing.
So I'll make sure, so if I'm commentating while Victor's reffing, I'll make sure to throw in a couple jabs at him, saying that he missed something like that. But so you'll see me play. Yeah, so you might see me playing on that court. You also might hear me commentating on that. After that, me and Irene are also doing the Red Deer Open after that, and we're moving up to 4-5 for our mixed. Nice. For that one. So we're playing 4-0 in the provincials because we're both sitting at about like a 4.3-ish. So we're going to see how that goes, and then we're going to see how we do in a 4-5 in the tournament after that. Irene is playing in like another tournament aside from that I couldn't get off. And then depending on scheduling, I'm either going to be heading to watch the CNPL in Calgary at the end of August, or I'm going to be playing in the St. Albert tournaments that same weekend. So depends. Depends if I want to play or if I want to get more stuff for the podcast. So
yeah,
I might lean towards playing more, but we'll see, because work has been fairly busy, and I haven't been able to play in as many tournaments this year as I would have liked. So I might lean towards more of that, unless Yui wants to reach out to me and say, "Hey, Andrew, come commentate for the weekend." Then I might have to come down and do that for CMPL. So.
Perfect. Louis, give a shout out to Andrew, please.
Yeah. So that's it for this one, everyone. We do have that tournament coming up next week, so we'll probably do a podcast for that, because we got also a lot of PPA stuff to cover as well, which we'll save for next one. And then you'll probably hear from us after the next CNPL event, which is on June 26th. June 6th. No, not June. Sorry, July.
July, right?
I'm all over the place now. I want to say it's July 6th and 7th is the central split.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, July 6th and 7th, and then right after that we have provincials. So we'll probably, if we can manage it with our schedules, we'll do a recap of the central splits on like the Monday or the Tuesday, and then obviously we'll do a recap of provincials because that's the big one here in Alberta.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll be right back to more CMPL and CPA and all that good PPA stuff as well. So busy summer.
Are you going to the Western?
No, I couldn't get the time off for it. So
that's too bad. I'll be there, just reffing though.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. So yeah, Victor will be able to give us some firsthand info on that.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure I call foot faults on Brad Chapman.
I don't know about Brad. You might be able to get someone else. Like I don't.
No, just joking.
I don't think Brad ever gets called for that stuff, but.
Oh no! I did call the last Western.
Okay.
I did call him on the last Western, and he was looking at he was trying to complain, and he's looking at his feet. He just turned away. I was like, okay, I caught it right.
Yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you, Andrew. See you, everyone.